All right, welcome to day 23. Let's talk about work. Work is the thing that people do in order to bring money into their world. And there's three kinds of work as far as I see it. You either work for one person, aka being employed, or you work for as many people as you want to, aka being self-employed, or you let money work for you, aka awesomeness. But here's the thing. Most people who I talk to, when they talk about why it is that they want money, it's that they don't need to work anymore. And I did this. I tried this out. When I moved to Costa Rica, I had no intention whatsoever about coming back to the United States. None. I had enough money to go down there and live in the developing world indefinitely. And that lasted about 6 months before I was like, okay, screw this shit. It is so boring to sit on a mountaintop and drink an adult beverage for like the 18th day in a row and have no purpose in life at all. Work gives us purpose. It gives us a reason to live. I remember back when I was working as a machinist, much younger, I had a coworker who, the very day he retired, within a week he was passed away because he was so wrapped up in his work and he loved his work. And then he turned 65, so he's like, hot damn, I get to retire. And he just dropped dead. We need to have a project. We need to have a meaning in life. So today I just want to invite you to reinvent the word work in your mind and separate it from the word toil. Work does not need to be toil. Work can be invigorating and exciting and spontaneous. And if you want to work for a boss, if you want to work for a company, there is nothing wrong with that. It's a personal choice. But if you want to work for a company, the way that I've always done it, ever since I figured out the best way of doing it, is that I go work for a company that has something to teach me, some way to develop me that I wanted to be developed. When Katharina and I lived in Austin, absolutely none of my entrepreneurial efforts were working, not even a little bit. And so we were just kind of coasting on savings. And eventually I realized that I would just need to go get a job in order to help balance out our cash flow. So I took a job as a bus driver, because they were hiring, they were desperate to get people, but more importantly, they paid for me to get my CDL. They paid for me to get my commercial driver's license, which is a useful thing, which also involved 3 months of intensive driving training. Intense. I'm a really, really good driver. I stayed at that job about 4 months. I only actually drove a bus for about a month after I had just taken their free training and collected money to basically become a better driver. It is really, really important that whatever you do in life for money is fun and enjoyable to you. Just like it's fun and enjoyable to me. I'm not making this course because it sucks and it's unpleasant. I'm making it because it's really entertaining. And it's challenging me to grow in new ways. The financial product that I'll be releasing very shortly, I don't do it because it's a chore, I do it because it's invigorating. I was up at 4:30 this morning, just like looking over contracts and designing logos and looking up web hosting and figuring out like what my funnel was going to look like. And I was doing it, and I was energized after only like 4.5 hours of sleep. I was completely energized to do the task because I've redefined what work is. And I invite you to do the same. Right before I came back from Costa Rica, I was talking to one of my mentors down there, and he asked me why I didn't want to go back to the US, even though all signs were pointing to like that being a really good thing for my own development and for my wife's. And I said, well, if I went back to the US, I wouldn't be able to afford to just live off of dividends anymore, and I would have to go back to work, and that would make me a failure. And he said, why would that make you a failure? And I didn't have an answer for him. Because there wasn't one. It wouldn't make me a failure at all. I just had a belief that it would. So when I came back here, I vowed that the only jobs that I would be willing to take, they wouldn't be for the money. It would be for experience. It would be because it's enjoyable and fun. Redefine work. Redefine what you do for money. And you'll find that it's so incredibly easy to accumulate it. It just kind of shows up. And that instead of being unpleasant, work is something that you look forward to every day. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.